Welcome back, guys. So carrying on from our laptop, I feel like I need to kind of darken this air shader a bit more, so I can kind of see what I'm doing in there properly. So I'll just select that description. Select the description of it, the attribute editor, vertical hair. So let's try. For the tip, let's try something a bit darker. So the specular highlights. I'm not too sure about the specular highlights. Okay, the second highlight that actually brighter. So let's try something around here. Okay, this should be fine. Then we go back to our Xgen tab. Let's start adding modifier. Let's start adding modifiers to this. Modifier, add in the modifier. I would like to do something else. So this modify CV count, I'm going to increase that a bit more. This is not clear enough. Let's look for something a bit clearer to use. Somewhere around here looks fine. Yeah, this particular one actually gives us a much better idea of what we need to do. So this is more or less like a coily air. So kind of make sure this kind of coils like we want it to. We need to have more CVs in here. So this CVs is more or less like adding more subdivision level to each strand of hair. Since we're adding coils to this, we're going to need a lot of CV count for it. So let's start with something around. Let's start with something around 150. Then let's just update this again. Okay. We shouldn't see so much happening in there though, at least not now. Until we start adding modifiers in there, then we'll probably begin to see something a bit more interesting. But at least we come into a closer view on this, we can see how wavy some of these are, kind of almost like following the shape of our guides. So that's fine. Okay, so first thing you always want to do is kind of add under the modifiers tab. You can see how this is getting a bit slower to work with because of this amount of CV count we have in here. So let's go to modifiers. So the first thing to add in the modifiers is to add some clumping in there. Let's click on this plus icon. Then we'll start by always want to kind of add clumping first. Very important. It's important you add some clumping in there. So for now, we shouldn't be seeing much happening in here until we update this. So let's click on updates. Yes. So you should have an error message in here saying something about no clump guides found. So kind of make sure we have some clump guides in there. We have to come in here and click on setup. We will click on, I think this should be fine. Density of one should be fine. The max, and I'll just put this around 0.8. This max is just gonna kind of randomize the clumping across the surface. So let's click on generate. So you can see this generating in here now. So each of these clumping guides is more or less like specifying where a particular clump should be, a particular area where the edge should kind of clump together based on this clumping yellowish clumpy guide. So if I should just click save on this, this should recalculate and we should start seeing something happening there as soon as we click this. Yes. So we have clumping happening in here already. As you can see. It's already clumping in there, which is more or less like a good base to start with. But this is not completely or precisely what we want. But this is definitely a good base to start with. But now that I'm even looking at this now, I feel like I'll need to bring the hair a bit closer, probably somewhere around here. So to do that, I will just turn off the clumping for now. Run an update for this. Then I'll come back to the primitive. I will hide this for now. Let's just hide this. Not this instead. Let's hide this instead. Ctrl H to hide that. Let's do a quick save. Now select this scalp. You don't select this scalp. Just come in here. Let's just come in here. Come in here and let's click on this icon in here. It's kind of modify the regions where we want the hair to go out from even more. So I'm going to increase the scale of the brush. Then we'll double click on this. Make sure we're painting white in here. Let's temporarily hide the hair. So we should move a bit a lot faster now. Probably take down the brush size a bit more. Kind of draw out something around here. Okay. Kind of more or less bring the hair a bit closer. Somewhere around here should be fine. Let's just make this a bit more precise. Okay, then take down the brush size, holding down shift, the lighter stroke. You can just fade out these edges a bit more. Yeah, something like that should be fine. Then we can click on saving here to kind of update that. Come in here also, click on save texture. Alright, just save this again. Then we can click on updates. This should kind of update the air in here now. Okay, let's click on our selection to go out of this. So we should have some air graying out in front now. Something more or less like so should be fine. Then let's bring this back on. Alright. Then we can go, let's kind of visualize where the air is going out from now. Around here should be fine. Around here should be just fine. If we need to modify this any further, we can always go back and do that. So let's go back to the modifiers and then turn on the clumping again. Then we'll update this. Right. Let's just get a good angle to this. So let's go to the clumping effects. There isn't so much of it. There isn't so much. So this is like the roots of the clumping. This is like the tip of it. If you kind of drag this all the way up and run an update again for this, this should change the look of it a bit more. You can see how the roots is no longer affected by the clumping anymore. Let's just kind of get this around here. Kind of push this around here, something like so. Let's run an update again. Right. So this is beginning to feel and look slightly better. So the higher it is more or less like saying you don't want it to be affected. So sorry, you want it to be affected, right? Yes, you want it to be affected. If you kind of push this all the way down, that means you're saying you don't want any part of the root to be affected. But you put this down like so, and I run this again. Just take a look at the roots. You can see now more, yes, rather more of the roots will be more of the roots now will be affected by my mistake. So pushing this down means you want more of this to be affected. I wish there's a way to kind of polarize this a bit more, so that it's a bit more specific in color, so you can actually understand. Probably red and green. But I do not like the way this is. I'll kind of push this back around here. Okay, kind of prefer how it looks right now. I think this feels a bit better now. Okay, can definitely work with this. There's some measure of clumping happening in there though, but not so much. Maybe kind of make this clump in the middle. Maybe a bit in the middle should have a bit of a clumping. Let's adjust the graph again and then run this one more time. Let's see. Not really liking the look of this. Maybe somewhere around, maybe something low like so. Let's try to update this again. Let's see. Okay. This looks like a good base. Okay. This should be fine. So I'm going to come in here and add a bit of noise in here. Let's add a bit of noise in here. So I'm going to adjust the graph for this. Maybe something more or less like so. Then I'm going to add some kind of random noise to this. So I'm going to randomize the noise in here. So I'm going to be using. I'm not going to copy this. This is more or less like a randomizer in here. So once kind of type is the way it is. So it's more or less like starting from 2. So more or less like the mean and max. So if I should come here and copy this, so to randomize this, I'll just put it in here. I want to randomize this from a value of, let's say, 9 to a maximum or minimum of 9 and maximum of, let's say, 14. And then let's update this. Let's see what that gives us. Okay. Now this looks very aggressive, probably too aggressive. So we want to take this down. Let's try a value of 1,4. We can make sure I'm doing this correctly. Then I'll refresh this again. I'll just update this again. Okay. Let's see what we have. And this particular one doesn't look too aggressive anymore. Probably even push this down and take this off. Let's see what that gives us. I want less of the tip to be affected. Rather, I want the tip to be more to be affected more. So that's why I'm pushing it down. So pushing it down means that you want the tip to be affected more. But raising it up means you don't want the tip to be affected. I think I can leave this as a good base. Then I'll add another clumping modifier to this. I'll add another clumping modifier to this. Let me just put this here. We're going to get added our coil to this. We also want to get some clumping happening in here. So in the initial clumping, we had a value of, we started with a, let me drag this up. We started with a value of 1 in here. So if you add another clumping on top of this, one's kind of triple the value. So probably putting something around 6 or 5 in there. So if you had, for example, if you had like for the clumping one, the value of 2 for density, that means your clumping 2 should have 3 times that same value or 4 times that same value. So probably around the value of 6 or 8. So since it's started with 1, I'm not going to put this to around a value of 6. Probably get this somewhere around here like so. Then we'll come and click on this setup map. I'll leave this at 1. I'll put this at the value of 6. I'll click on generate. So now we should see more clumping guides all around this. Now we have more clumping guide around this. I'll click save. Let's see what that gives us. So it's more or less like trial and error and then try to figure out which particular value works for it. Let's update this. I'm trying to figure out which particular value works best for this. Okay, so now we can see another clumping happening on top of this. Okay, you can see another clumping There's another clumping happening inside of this original clumping also. But let's have more of the tip being clumped in. We put this around here and do this again. Let's see what we have. Nah, this is just way, this is not way too much. Let's try and refresh this again. After adjusting the graph, and let's see what we have. Okay. I would also like to go back to the clump 1. Click on setup map and probably put this around 0.5. Generate. I think 0.5 is too small for this. So let's try a value of 2 instead. Click on generate again. Click on save. Let's update this. So I'm seeing like a lot of gaps in between this, so I'm trying to avoid having so many gaps in between them. Just want them to kind of something like this to be feels is looking a bit better now. Okay, I think I can definitely I can definitely work with this. So let's just visualize this from a different angle. I think this I can work with. Alright. So the next thing we're going to do now is to add a coil modifier to this. Let's add some coils to this. So coil modifier. Okay, so now I've added this in here. So the count for this, I'll just put that same a random value for this also. Let's try value from, let's try 10 to 14. Try 10 to 14. So I don't want so much of the, I think I need to pull this down. This should be like somewhere around here. It should not affect the root so much though. We put the root around here. Start with something around here. And then let's see. Okay. Now let's see what we have. Let's update this. Hopefully we should have something more interesting in here. Yes, definitely. Now we have something interesting in here. Maybe too interesting. But it just feels way too much. It just feels way too much. Though we're kind of getting something interesting in here, but it's definitely way too much. So let's try a value of let's say something around 3 to 5. Let's try something around 3 to 5. Then let's update this again. Kind of using a smaller value for this. Now this still feels way too much. Or is it coming from the radius scale? Let's get this up first. Let's see. Let's update this. Not so much. The radius is not doing so much. Radius is not doing so much. I think it is valid as the main thing in here. So let me put this. Let's try this around 1. I'll put this around 0.2. Let's see what that gives us. And this feels way too intense. This is just way too intense. Okay. Let's see. Now there's an issue with this. The issue now is that it's affecting. I want this to affect it per strand, but it seems to be affecting this in form of like one major clump around the entire thing. Let's see. If this doesn't work properly, then I might just have to do this. I just have to do this coiling in the clumping itself. Let's see what happens when I take this down to 0. Okay. Then let's put this to around, let's try 5 to 10. Okay, nothing seems to be happening. That means this option here is very important. So let's see, maybe we should try, come here, copy this, paste this in here, and run the simulation again, and run this update again. Let's see what that gives us. Nothing seems to be happening in here. Seems like we cannot randomize this radius. Radius cannot be randomized. 0.8. Let me try the same random. Let's use something between 0.2 and 1. Let's update this again. Let's see what that gives us. Okay. Let's see. Let's put this to 0 points. Let's try 0.5 in there. Updates. Okay. Now, yes, this is it. This is definitely it. This is the look I was going for. This is definitely the look I was going for. Now it should look a bit more. It should kind of feel a bit more like so. Maybe the shading is not doing justice to this though. Maybe we should just come in here instead of 5. Let's try 5 and let's put 1 in here. Let's see what that gives us. Let's see. Get a closer look on this. Okay. Okay. Now let's just keep experimenting with this. Let me adjust this a bit more. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I would like to. Mm, let me drag this down first. Let's see what that gives us. Okay. It seems to be excluding the root a bit more. Let's try something like so and run this again. Okay. Now it's giving us a bit more of a gap. Now it's giving us some gap in between. Yes, I think these gaps we need a bit of gap in between there. I think yes, we're beginning to refine this and beginning to get closer to the look we're going to this particular look in here. Now let's just find a way to kind of make this affect more of the tip. So I want this radius to be affecting more of the tip. So let's drag this all the way up like so and run this again. Yes, even better. Now we have more of the tip being affected by this. So I would also like to have some of the roots being affected by this also. So let's just get this, let's just kind of average this like somewhere around here, I think. Then run this again. Okay. This looks fine. This looks fine. This we can definitely work with. This we can definitely work with. So we should be having more of the tip being affected by this, by the coil. Let's just look at this from another angle, just to be sure. Then kind of look at this again. Maybe let's bring it more towards the tip. Maybe this also, let's just push this down like so. And run this again. Let's see what we have. Nah, this is definitely not what we want. Maybe. Let's see. Now the roots are just standing out. Standing out way too straight. Shouldn't be this straight though. Maybe not too straight. So let's not visualize it from a distance. Let's see this from a distance. Let's see what we have. Probably even plug in, put some lights in here, and then kind of get another idea of how this will look with some light setup in here. So let's just turn on the lights. Okay, you can see the silhouette of this already. It's already giving us a bit of an interesting result to it. Already getting some really interesting result out of this silhouette, which is also cool. So that should be fine. Then under create, let's just plug in a light. We can use, think the directional light should be nice for this. Now where is it? Now that's way too tiny, so let's scale this up by lots. I also like to raise it up like so. Then kind of rotate it at an angle. Maybe something like this. And let's go back in there. Let's see the look we have in here. Let's also try to look at this from with another image. You can see how it's falling at the tip very much, which is precisely what we want. We also have a lot of falling also very close to the root also. Let's take a look at this. Seems to be a lot of foiling also happening close to the root also. So need to come back in here and then raise this maybe all the way here and then run this again. But I would very much like some of the roots to kind of stand out a bit more like so. Okay. I think we can live with this. It should be fine. We can live with this. So let me just turn off the light again. This we can definitely live with. Okay, yeah, this is fine. This feels just about right for this character. So let's just go back in here and then let me just hide this light for now. Control H to, what did I do? Control H to hide these lights. Control H to hide. Oops. H to hide these lights. So let me just go back to the same edge description. Then let's see, maybe we can change the property a bit more. Let's not make it Let's not make it too dark. I think I prefer it dark. I prefer it dark. Let's try darker tips. Let's push this towards the brown. Okay. Mm, let's push this towards the brown also. I think this should be fine. Maybe not yet. Not yet. This other one feels way too. This one feels way too bright. Maybe just a little. And push this towards something a bit browner like so. Alright. Yes, this feels much better. The little just need to do now is just to add some more hairs to this and then we are good to go. But I will not be doing that right now. There is some other things we still need to do in here, which I think we need to. Let's make this highlight a bit sharper. But this highlight is kind of showing us some of these hairs a bit properly, so something like this should be fine. Now just do a quick save. Okay. So carrying on, let's go back to our Xgen tab. We seem to be making significant progress in here, which is precisely what we want. Like to hide this. No, we like to hide this tab. Just temporarily hide that. So now the next thing we need to do, keep carrying on from here. Carrying on from here. The next thing we need to do now is to add, probably add a noise modifier. I'm not sure if I need so much too much noise in here, but let's just add this in here regardless. So let's add a noise modifier, and let's run this. Let's see what that gives us. Okay. Let's see. I have some settings that I prefer to use though. Let's just let me just find that. I think I should have something in here for the noise. Yes. So for the frequency and for the magnitude, we have something in here. Okay, this value seems at best seems to work just fine. So I'm just going to copy this. Just copy this. I think where is that supposed to be in the frequency? So I just plug this in frequency and hit enter on this. So let's run this again. Let's see what that gives us. But for the most part, this seems to work just fine. Okay. Yeah, it should be fine. Now just copy this. Just copy this also. and just place this in the magnitude. So for this particular graph, we just seen that the magnitude should be affecting more of the tip than the roots. This is just basically what this means. So it's down here for the roots and up here for the tip. So more of the tip should be affected in a more linear format than the roots. So let's run this again. I've added this in here. So let's run this again. Let's see what that gives us. Okay. I think this should be fine. Because this seems fine. Yeah, this should be more or less fine for this. Right. Now what we need to do here is kind of add a cut modifier to this. And what that cut modifier does is just to make sure each strand of hair is not the same length. Obviously, all the strands of hair in your body are not obviously the same length. So we want to have some kind of variation to the length. So that's why we're going to be adding this cut modifier to this. So yeah, nothing seems to be working immediately. So I'm going to use a value. I already have a value. I prefer to use. I keep coming in here. I already have a value that I prefer to use. So let us scroll down to the yes, to the cut in here. Select this. Let's try this in here. Now just paste that in there. Enter. Now run this again. I'm just gonna go a bit more aggressive on this, so you guys can actually see what that does. Let's see what that does now. So let's just give this a moment to. Yes, you can see how this kind of shortens some part of the hair. So the hairs now are not completely at the same height. So they should be a few longer than the others. If I want to kind of go extreme on this, I can kind of do something like, let's put 5 in here. Hit enter and apply that. Kind of update this rather. You can see how it's doing a bit of an aggressive job, kind of make sure the hair is even become even scanty and it was before, which is not precisely what we want. So I'm just going to take that to its previous value and then update this again. I'm basically just trying to show you guys what that will do when you kind of go for use a more aggressive value for it. Then you can update this, so you should go. Oh, I click on that again. That's completely fine. That is completely fine. Right, so this seems to be working quite nicely. So let's say I want to add another noise to this. So the noise you kind of control. So the noise you kind of control the stray hairs happening in here. So the stray hairs will be more obvious in a character with longer hairs. The character with shorter hairs is not too obvious, not very obvious, especially with this African male character. But let's just see how well that does. We kind of apply this in here. So let's just click on apply. Let's just apply another noise to this. I'll turn off this other noise in here. Then I would like to make this probably make this even more aggressive. Let me just come into this, come in here. Let's try this for the frequency. Let me put a more aggressive number to this. Let me put a number like around 5 in here. Enter. Then let's update this. Okay, you can see how it's kind of making this a bit more randomized and a bit more aggressive. Let's copy this also. Copy this also and I'll paste this in here. Maybe for this, let's even use a more higher number. Let's put 10 in here and let's put 5 in here. So it's kind of randomized from a value of from a value intensity of 5 to 10. Yes, okay. You can see how this kind of offsetted this a bit more. Kind of make it even more aggressive. So now, but we don't want this to be affecting the entire thing. Why do I keep opening this? We don't want this to be affecting the entire thing. So what we're going to do is to come in here. So for this tray magnitude, let's come in here to this tray. I'll copy this. Just copy the way it is. Come to the max and I'll just paste this in here. So right off the bat, you should not be seeing. You should not be seeing much of this being affected, I believe. Yes, actually affecting something in there. But what we're going to do is to come into the description and click on set percentage, set strip percentage to, let's try value of, oh yes, wrong explanation. Once you apply this value, this text in here, you should kind of hide everything, because now we're going to specify how many percentage of this particular noise we just added in here should kind of appear on our Xgen, on the Xgen here. So let's say we want to kind of have 10% of this as stray hairs for this Xgen hair. So we're just going to come in here and just type in 10% and click enter. Then I'll just close this. Then I'll click update. So we should have 10% of this hair being affected by this noise modifier we just added in here. Yeah, as you can see, 10% of this is being affected. But the thing is that this our magnitude is way too strong. So let's put something around, let's say plus 5, from randomize from 1 to 5. Then we'll update this again. Let's see what that gives us. Okay, next. Now we're having some stray air in here. But I'm not sure if I don't know if this is too much or just the right amount. I think probably have this. Let's see. Let's come back to this description. Set percentage, set strip percentage. Let's put this around 5. That I don't want this to be all over the place. So let's try a value of around 5. Alright, I think this should be fine here. This is a better value to use. You can see some of these stray hairs happening in there. If I kind of turn this off, and do this and kind of update this again, you should kind of this particular stray edge should kind of disappear out of sight. You can see how they are gone now. So let's bring that back in, then bring back our original noise, then let's update this. Alright, so we are good. Yeah, I think we're good. So I think that should be basically all for this. Should be basically all for this. I think this feels, let's see. This feels just about right. Maybe another thing we can do is to show our guides. Turn off the air for now. And maybe all these guides at the back we can probably reduce the height information in there. Let's just push this down. We just take this down a notch like so. Then we can update the air again. Let's see what that gives us. Let's look. It is not too, yes, I think. Just look at this from an angle. Let me just kind of see. Yeah, I think it should be fine. See, we can definitely live with this. Yes, this should be just fine. Okay. So that is how we can successfully create a short Afro air inside of Xgen. So let me just do it with save. Then in the next lesson we're gonna talk about how to, or moving on to creating this other side of the hair. But I think I'm just going to be sticking with this reference instead. So seems to give a better result. So I'm just going to be sticking with this reference instead for this. Alright. Not completely like this, so like this though. We're still going to be making our own corrections to some of these also. So I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Bye for now.